Today, I'm going to be giving you guys my wish list for college football 26. The game is going to be here before you know it. But we don't obviously know, the release date for the game yet, but assuming it comes out around the same time as it did last year, we're going to get a July release. So we're not too far away. This list is going to be all about just things that I'd like to see in the next game, things I'd like to see fixed, and all that good stuff. If there's something on here that was not talked about that you guys would like to see added to this list, or just be added to the next game in general, you guys can comment that down below. This list is going to consist of a lot of things that is related to gameplay. A big portion of this is going to be talking about gameplay. Another big portion is going to be us talking about Ultimate Team. We'll talk about a little bit of online regs. Not going to talk a lot about Dynasty. I'm talking about the stuff that I know. I know, online head-to-head. I know Ultimate Team. That's what I know for the most part. I played a lot of Dynasty, but I don't think I know enough about it to where I should be, thinking, what should we need for the next game? So there's probably a lot of you guys out there that do, so you guys can let me know. Now, this list is in no particular order. I think I got like 14, 50 different topics that we're going to touch up on. The first thing is we're going to start off with an ability in College Football 25 that I think shouldn't even be in the next game, and the ability is going to be Extender. What Extender allows you to do is break sacks from anybody on the field. D linemen, linebackers, safeties, corners, the whole thing. Now, when it starts off on bronze, it only works on, it said it only worked on DBs, but I actually tested it out on bronze way back in the day, and it worked on every player. So I'm guessing that's why they changed the description of the ability, but it works on every single player. Now, you know what? If you want to leave it in the game and make it to where they can break the sack from DBs, I'm fine with that. That would be the only way I think you leave it in the game, but making it to where these guys can break a sack for pretty much anybody on the field, like 300-pound defensive linemen, I'm really not with it, especially since right now in Ultimate Team, we're getting pretty much everyone's getting it platinum. So either you take it out the game or you revert it back. Well, I can't say revert it back because it actually really never was. You make it to how it's supposed to originally work and make it to where they actually only break sacks for defensive backs. I'd be fine with that. Number 2 is going to be bring play ball in the air back as a coaching adjustment. And I say bring it back because, it got taken out of Madden. I want to say back in like maybe Madden 23 or something like that. What this used to be is if you go on defense, you can go to a coaching adjustments, and there's a bunch of different stuff you could have. There used to be a setting in here. It was called play ball in there. You could put it on aggressive, you could have it on conservative, you could leave it on balanced. And putting it, on aggressive would make it to where your DBs would attack the ball more. Now, there's something that they're in the game. It actually doesn't show you in the game. You have to go to CFB Fan to find this. Some DBs, for example, they'll have a trait called play ball in the air, and I'm guessing that's why they took it out, because they wanted to make it to where some players would have, that built-in play ball aggressive, and then some players just would not. I think it needs to come back because, I'm tired of, DBs just dropping. Is it going to fix you catching picks? Not entirely. Actually, I think it would, because in this game, at least, cornerbacks that I've seen that have the play ball aggressive trait, they do pick more passes off than corners that don't. And look, nobody likes it when a quarterback throws the ball right at your DB's face. It's the easiest pick in the world, and he doesn't drop it. The guy just straight up swats it. So, we got to make these guys pay for bad reason, just dumb decision making. Number 3, add cut draft. If you do not know what that is, in Madden for the longest, there was a game mode. It was called Mutt Draft. I don't know if it's still on there. I haven't really played Madden this year, and I don't remember if it was on there last year. But even when they did have it in Madden the last couple years, they didn't really support it. When I say support it, they wouldn't update the most. The stuff that you get in the beginning of the year with it, you would see that same stuff in like January. They just never really updated it, and it would be cool to see that in this game. You know what I mean? And especially if you could add some really nice rewards to it, it would be a really cool way just to use cars that maybe you'll never be able to afford, or just a really good way to help no money spent players out. Give them an alternative game mode to help make some coins and build their team up. I think it'll be pretty cool. Number 4 is going to be being able to use any playbook you want in Road to the College Football Playoffs. You don't know what Road to the College Football Playoffs is. This is basically their online regs mode. It's just normal head-to-head teams playing online. It's a pretty good mode. My only really 2 complaints is that, one, you can't change the team's playbook, so you got to use that team's playbook. And 2, you can't change the team's jerseys. There is way too many playbooks in this game, and every team has a pretty good amount of jerseys for you to only be able to run. The stock stuff is kind of lame, and this will also help with players using different teams. Like, you feel like you go against Alabama every game. I mean, yeah, obviously they have a really good team, so it makes sense, but it's also because their playbook is really good. So if they made it to where you could use any team's playbook, then people will run other teams because maybe, okay, you really like the Alabama playbook. Now you don't have to use Alabama. You can use UConn. I don't know why you'd want to use UConn, but you could use UConn and run the Alabama playbook. So I think that's something that definitely needs to get changed next year for regs, and also being able to change the team's jerseys. Number 5, the dev team next year for college football 26. We need way more consistency with dropping cards. Now, when I say dropping cards, I mean in the sense to where a guy that came out, let's say, for example, March 5th, should not be getting another card March 30th, the same guy. But I got a couple different examples. So we have this TJ Parker right here. Really good card that came out. I think it was literally less than a month. I mean, it has to be because he got another card in 97. And not only did he get another card, but this card was worse. Another really good example is Abdul Carter. He got a 96 for that same promo, and then he gets a 98. These are actually the same promo, so they both got cards for Stars of the Year, and then they both got another card for the Fraternities promo, which was, I think, like the very next promo or whatever. So there's other cards this has happened to too. These aren't the same cards, like where guys are getting like literally just, and their new cards are worse, which is really hard to believe. So we just need more consistency. There is way too many names you can use in college football for this to ever be happening. So this should never happen again in college football 26. And I mean never. Number 6, player models and gear. So this is a really big problem in Ultimate Team, I would say. I don't know how bad it is, with regs and, Dynasty and stuff. But when I say player model and their gear, for example, this is David Garrard. I don't actually know how the hell he looked when he played. So I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but I'm going to speak on some other players that I've used. In college football 25, I understand that they were not going to get these players face scans and all that stuff. That's fine. I don't expect them to do it next year. I don't care. But the one thing you can do is you can get these guys gear on the football field right, and you can get their player models correct. For instance, RG3 doesn't have his arm sleeve. How the hell does RG3 doesn't have his arm sleeve? Joe Burrow was black when the game came out. There's been other players that came out. I think Mark Andrews was black. Like, getting stuff like making their gear on the football field right. If a guy had arm sleeve, give him his arm sleeve. If a guy had, something on him that made him look unique, and just at least making their player build look right. Like their arms, their legs, and all that stuff. It's fine. I get they can't get the face scans, but that stuff right there, all that stuff I'm listing, that is so easy they could do. You can literally do that in the game if you were like creating a player. It is not that hard. Number 7 is going to be everything for a player, his stats, his traits, all of that needs to be included in the game. And number 8, wear and tear. So there's like a big divide with everybody. Some people want wear and tear online, some people don't. I'm stuck in the middle because obviously I hate wear and tear kind of being online, but then I also kind of like the fact that it makes you have to have, invest in having some backups and guys ready to go and stuff. Now, when I say fixed wear and tear, I think this is the best intermediate for both groups, or not even the best. This needs to happen. Wear and tear is broken at times. It's not as bad as it was at the beginning of the year because, oh my God, it was so bad at the beginning of the year. But because I've seen it still happens sometimes. For example, this is a example that I've seen happen, so I'm giving it. I had some player on my offense. He got pushed out of bounds. He just got pushed. He didn't fall, barely even got touched. Just got pushed out of bounds. He's out the rest of the game. This is the opening drive of the game. It said his ankle was just done for. Lost all the speed. All of his stats are in the red. He's done. And it's like that's broken. That really can't happen. So if you're going to have wear and tear, especially online, it's got to make sense. Like if a guy's going to get knocked out of the game like that and just straight up die, it's got to make sense. Like he's number 9. A no money spent player in college football 25. It's a pretty rough life, I will say that. As somebody that's no money spent myself, it's pretty hard. I mean, like, your really only ways to make coins is, you got seasons, champs, and gauntlet. There's not really too many ways outside of that. Like, there's not, there's challenges, but they don't really give you that much. Solo seasons is not very good. House rules sometimes is really good. They've had some good house rules, but then the ones right now, it's just not very good. So there needs to be more alternative ways, I think, for no money spent players to make coins. Just a multitude of different ways, because that's one of the biggest things I hear about people that are trying to get into the game mode right now. They're saying they can't because there's just no really ways to make coins, because not everybody buys packs. I don't buy packs. I don't condone buying packs. I think it's stupid, but if you buy packs, it's what it is. That's cool. That's you. There needs to be more ways for people that that they don't want to spend money on the game to be able to make some coins. I'm not saying get rich, but just legit make some coins. Number 10, why can't we save our substitutions and formations? For example, in the game, we can save our audibles. So if you go to practice or really any game or whatever audibles you put in, it will save. They will be saved into the game. And if you go online, your audibles can save. So you go into practice, they save. Why can't we do that the same with, substitutions, for example? Let's say I'm playing Ultimate Team. I go into practice and I make some substitutions. I'm like, I want the running back in for this formation. I want to put this. Something I actually do is when I come out in the game, I come out in the single back wing tight Z and I actually sub an offensive lineman in right here. Another offensive lineman I have on the O-line to swap out a tight end. Why can't that just save if I do that in practice? I feel like that's not a really hard thing to do. It'll save a lot of people a lot of time too. Number 11, we need to get some type of refund for removing a chem off a player. For example, right, I have Alabama chem on David Garrard. Obviously, never went to Alabama. These guys get all chems. If I remove it, there's no refund. So if I go sell him, on the auction block and, I just want to get rid of him, right, I get nothing back for taking the chem off. So the next player, I have to spend another $15K to put the chem on him, and it's just really expensive. One, it should actually be training. There's no way we actually have to spend 15,000 coins. That's just way too much. I actually think the whole theme team thing needs to be revamped, but I could talk about that for an entire video, so I'm not going to go completely into that right now. But one, it should be training. Two, the fact that we don't get it. I'm not saying get all 15,000 back, even though I really should, but give us at least 8,000, 7,000, 9,000. Something's got to be given back. Nothing is crazy. Number 12, we need more jersey options and cut. Literally, you have basically every team's base offense or base home and away jersey, and that's crazy. I mean, we kind of talked about it with regs, how you can't even change those jerseys. There's way too many jersey options in college football for you to only be able to use the base home and away. So that's got to change as well. Number 13, I think we need a halftime AP change. This is something Madden did in the past. I don't know if they still do it. I don't know if they continued it, but it really wasn't a bad idea. Basically, once you hit halftime mid-game, you're able to switch up your team's AP. Now, obviously, this is only for Ultimate Team because you can't, change the other stuff's abilities, but it'll be really good. Let's say, for example, you're going against a guy. Let's say you got a lot of takedowns on your defense to start the game, right? Those are, to help bring down the quarterbacks. They don't break sacks because extender's broken. But let's say the guy you're going against, he's not really running the ball. He stays in the pocket a lot. You don't need them. Then at halftime, you could change your AP and just, completely switch it up. I think it'll be pretty cool. I remember it got taken out of Madden. I don't remember why. I think it's because it was bugged or something like that. But if they could actually fix it, if you would think it's something that's not really that hard to do, then I think it could be really good for the game. Number 14, add baseline for defense. There's no reason this is not in the game. What baseline is, if you don't know what baseline is, it's in Madden. It's basically, if you go to coaching adjustments, there will be this setting, and it's called baseline. What this does is it will have your defense. Your defense isn't going to line up based off what the offense is in. It's not going to work like that. The defense is going to line up in how their defense looks in the player. It's going to line up like that. And what this is going to do is, one, it's going to help create, I would say, some more organic blitzes. It's going to help stop the run a lot more. It's just going to help with so much because, let's say, for example, I want to come out in, my 3-4, I want to come out and cover 4, but they want to come out in this wide, whatever, one of those wide things where everyone's lined up right on the sideline. Now some of my outside backers that I got on the D line, they're lining up all the way out there. I don't want that. And baseline, it wouldn't happen. They're going to line up how they're supposed to line up, how it looks in the play art. On the D line, they're not going to line up out wide, and it would just help out so much. This is going to be my very last thing right here. Number 15, let's get some type of yard game mode, a 3v3 game mode, maybe a 2v2, maybe some type of 7-on-7 for Ultimate Team. Just something a little bit different to switch it up. Honestly, them not having some type of yard game mode, if you don't know what the yard is, it's something they do in Madden where it's just, kind of like street football type. You probably know what this. If you don't, just go check it out. Okay, something like that should be added for college. I can't believe it's not, but especially how fun the gameplay is for this game. And like I said, for Ultimate Team, maybe adding a 7-on-7 type game mode, just something a little bit different. Because the gameplay on here is just really good. So there's no reason something like that should not be on the game. That is pretty much it for my list. I'm sure there's more stuff that I could have talked about. Like I said, I didn't really talk about Dynasty. I've played it a ton. I don't think I have played it enough to where I could speak on what needs to be added to it, especially since I haven't played the older college football games. So I really don't know. From an Ultimate Team and a gameplay standpoint, I think we hit it. We got it pretty good. We talked about pretty much everything. I don't know. There's probably something, like I said, I left off. So if there's anything that I might have left off, man, comment it down below. But I think it's a pretty good list we got overall. If you guys did enjoy this video, man, drop a like. And if you're not subbed to the channel, man, sub to the channel. We're going to have lots of more content on the way. But till the next time, man, I'll see y'all boys in the next one.